God, and it was also a platform for me to thrive as a gospel music minister.
Okay.
Upcoming.
Very soon you get there.
Of course.
Okay, but what are the lessons drawn from the experiences? I heard you say something about, being skeptical about going to all these gospel talent hall and all that, but this one proved you wrong. There are some things that you drew from there as lessons. Please share with us.
First is that I believe from what happened,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't need to come to a conclusion from a distance. Sometimes you need to come close to something before you understand it better. And I haven't participated in any gospel music competition because of what I've heard, and I haven't been there, but I didn't want to experience it before.
Okay.
So, but with this, I think it's good to sometimes give things trials instead of just concluding it wouldn't work and all that.
Yeah.
So, the lesson I will give to anyone is that just make the move.
Make a move.
Make a move.
Okay.
Sometimes when you get there, you might find out that this is totally different from what you thought.
Okay.
So you don't judge a book by its cover. Maybe what you've been seeing and what the word has painted to you makes you feel.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's a lesson I will give to anyone.
Yeah.
You can actually go there and you see something different.
Okay. Well, I've been talking with Minister Chuks Michael, his experiences throughout the past edition of Voices in Praise. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll ask him some questions so that we can share more from what he got from that edition. We'll be right back. All right, you are welcome back. We are still here with Minister Chuks Michael talking about his experiences during the Voices in Praise Music Talent Hunt. I would like to ask you, so far, how is your music life? Especially as it has to do with your experiences with the last edition. How did it affect your music life? On a scale of 10, can you just tell us, are you going up, are you going down? Which one? What happened?
Maybe I will tell you 10 over 10.
10 over 10.
Yeah. Because before that competition, I have this idea about music.
Okay.
I play keyboard and I do a few things.
Okay, you play keyboard?
I play keyboard.
Wow.
So, but, when I contested from the beginning, from the audition, I met a lot of persons. And that actually taught me that no matter how good you think you are, there are persons who are very much bigger and better than you.
No matter how good you think you are, there are people that are more better than you. Hold that right there.
So I had to go in there. I saw talents.
Wow.
It made me not just stay in my comfort zone thinking I'm good. I had to start working.
Mm-hmm.
I saw voices, I heard voices, I saw and I heard.
Wow.
Actually, you don't see voices, but this time I saw voices.
Aye.
So, and it made me go back and work. And I also met professionals. One beautiful thing I wouldn't forget about the VIP is that they brought people. During the boot camp, I saw musicians. Not just people who do music they love music, but these are persons who have gained mastery and proficiency in music. Most of them are musicologists. So when they brought their idea of music, it was totally different from what I thought. So after the whole experience, sometimes when they're training us, you try to sing something and you feel you're doing good, they tell you, my friend, you just messed up. You just messed up. And imagine with the whole energy and everything.
It just crash you, man.
So for some persons, it's something that could make you maybe say I'm not going again, but it made me really become very strong, and it made me go back and work.
Wow.
I had to work because with this, I discovered that for me to get there, I needed a very high level of mastery in my craft. So it was a different experience that I would say brought me from grace to grace.
Yes.
And one beautiful thing about it was that personally, I didn't want to invite anyone to come there and vote for me during the competition.
Yeah.
So I wanted to test my abilities. So after the boot camp and all the trainings, I went back and did my own homework.
Yeah.
So when I came and after emerging, I could hit my chest and say, yeah, something different has happened.
Okay.
And knowing that this wasn't just a hired crowd or whatever, it was out of credibility. So I felt happier. And from that time, sincerely speaking, it has connected me to a lot of persons. I met someone someday who said, I've been following you from that Voices in Praise.
Wow.
And I know, I can see I'm better than who I was before.
Yes.
So all thanks to Voices in Praise. So on a scale of 10, I give them 10 because it's something that have brought massive improvement and growth in my craft and everything.
Beautiful.
I also learned discipline.
Discipline, yeah.
I also learned discipline because the professionals who came to coach us during the trainings were disciplined, and you don't joke with that.
Yes.
So it was a beautiful experience.
I am so excited by what I'm hearing, and I believe our friends are also getting a lot of lessons from this. Were you in any way certain you were going to come to that very position? Were you in any, maybe you're going to be the winner, or maybe any runner-up or something? In your expectation, were you there?
Actually, when I came there, I will remember what I used to tell my fellow contestants. I do tell them I won't come here for the money.
Okay.
I used to tell them I just came for the experience, and I started saying that because with what I was seeing, I think I I told myself there's no point. Let me just get the experience and go. So, but as time went on, while I was assimilating their trainings, and the competition was going, so I discovered the people I was thinking were the best were going. So, and at every point I will pray and tell God, this is just it. You brought me here. Let's see what happens.
Wow.
So every step proved to me that God wanted me to really get there, and every step of the competition was really giving me confidence, and as well as the audience participation. So my first performance, the second, I said, Mike, you're going there. So, in fact, I expected I would win. So
okay.
But then I saw God wanted me to be the first runner-up, and I'm very glad about it. So
very, very glad. Now the second edition is fast approaching. Arrangements are on ground and kicking up very, very fast. What's going to be your participation this time? Are you going to contest again, or are you just going to be a spectator? I don't know. What's your engagement this time?
There is a saying that when you see something good, you tell your friend about it. Okay, so this time I'm not contesting.
Okay,
of course, being one of the winners of the maiden edition.
Yeah,
it tells me that I am now there to bring people to come and see the same light that I saw. So my job here is that I'm going to work with the team. I'm going to work with them in whatever capacity I can.
Okay.
But basically, I would make sure I tell people, I would tell my friends to come and participate. It's a life-changing experience.
Yes.
So I am fully there to give my support however they will want it. And I encourage and advise everyone all over the world, and especially those who had this mindset like me then, who thought, these are biased things and no transparency. So, but with this, I'm convinced that I'm telling everyone out there to come and participate. It's going to change your life. So
this is lovely. I am so excited with what I'm hearing, and I want you to understand, just like he said, it's open to everyone. Come and express yourself, your gifts and your talent with Voices in Praise Music Talent Hunt. It's going to be very wonderful. Friends, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. Every dream is achievable, and this is possible only by consistent discipline, diligence, and perseverance. You heard everything he said. At some point, he wanted to draw back and say, well, let me just go ahead and do that. And of course, the acknowledgement of God's grace. You understand? He told himself, these guys are bigger than me, and then at the long run, he sees those ones he was thinking they were better than him, drop it. That's the grace of God. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Thank you very much for coming to Gospel Lounge. It was an exciting time with you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you do greater things. And from all of us here, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, my wonderful audience. I am so glad. Thank you for being there with us on Gospel Lounge. See you soon. Hello, welcome back. I am still here with you and this Gospel Lounge. I have a next guest in the studio, and we're going to be talking about something very, very important. It's very crucial and delicate, okay? Values, we call it ethics, we call it principles, all right? There are several definitions and application to the word values. But contextually, we will pitch on this one. Values are individual beliefs that motivate people to act in one way or the other. They serve as a guide for human behaviors. You see, people are predisposed to adopt the values they are or we are raised with. Okay? Today, we're going to discuss and express some thoughts on the topic. And I have here with me in the studio a great leader, life coach, a human capital developer, and a businessman. There's a lot to say about him. Well, friends, let's welcome Mr. Obidibo Ahobarezama. Thank you very much for coming on the show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
You look so good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right. I want to please ask you, do we still have values today in our society, ranging from the young ones to the adults? And, tell us, please.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We do have values and ethics. The only challenge is that some people, some school of thought think that we don't have, but that's not true. And why they believe we don't have is because they are doing kind of a comparative analysis.
Okay.
The values that were held in their time and the values that they are seeing currently in our time.
Okay.
But they forget that a lot of things has happened, transpired over time. Okay? A lot of things have transpired over time, and technology, knowledge, exposure, right? Thinking patterns, mindset, things have changed. But I am not saying that we do not have a kind of a shift in value system.
Okay.
But the truth is that these are the things that have affected ethics and value in our time. But generally, I would say that there is a kind of a little shift, right? A little depreciation in value system or in ethics.
Yeah.
Remember, value is simply the belief that people have that guide their behavior,
Yeah.
right? So, looking at the past and the present, there is a change, okay? Both negatively and positively.
Okay.
So there is value. We still have value. If we don't have value and ethics, to be honest with you, you may not get home because somebody out there may chop off your head on the way. Of course.
Seriously.
He can, And you may go to the filling station to buy fuel, and the attendant there will tell you that you wouldn't get your balance.
And that's a very big trouble.
So there is still value, there is still ethics, but I think we are looking at, the extent that we appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. We may be looking at the majority.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be looking at, how it affects our relationship on daily basis. But the truth of the matter is this: we still have values. Okay, that guide the society.
Okay.
We still have ethics. All right. And remember, ethics and value affect every aspect of our life. For instance, there are personal values.
Yes.
Business values.
Yes.
All right. Religious values. Okay. These things are still there. But how effective are they? How are we using them in making decisions every day? Okay, I think that's what you should be looking at.
Okay, talking about, you said something about this. Okay, now by your answers now we have a kind of a place to find a balance, because we still have ethics, but it's in the level we appreciate it. But moving towards the depreciation, that's exactly my worry. What is responsible for the depreciation in this ethics and values we are looking at now? Like, we see a lot of things happening around us, and then we'll be asking people, where is this one coming from? What is really going on with this person? Why is he behaving in this way and that way, which is not agreeing with a sane society? So who is responsible for the depreciation we have seen so far in ethics or values?
All right. I think we cannot really point to one person or one institution or one individual or an event and say that's where that is what is responsible.
Okay.
Definitely. A lot of factors are responsible. A lot. Culture and tradition.
Culture and tradition.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's changed. A lot of things has changed in our culture. Okay. Family values. We see somehow we are changing what we call the family institution.
Okay.
Okay. Somehow we are changing it. I don't think we are even changing it for good. So it's affecting our value system. Right. Now let's look at our media.
Media.
Yes,
Okay.
it's affecting the value system. Right. When the media is always showing violence, bad news, that's what is trending. If I start telling a story that yesterday I was traveling to Lagos and we were like 25 in the bus, and as we are heading towards Ibadan, all right, something tragic happened. Everybody will open his ears. You know what they want to hear?
Yes.
There was an attack.
We are so attracted to bad news.
Yes, there was an attack. You will keep reading the news, or they will keep listening, they will keep watching. But if I say at the end, we arrived Lagos safely, people will like, why are you telling us you gave? It's not news, but that's news. That's good news. So when the media is always projecting negativity, violence, crime, all right?
But is it possible? Can we help it really? Because the media is actually showing what is going on around us.
They are only showing one side of what is going on.
Okay.
All right. Let me give you an example. Your child may tell you, I want to travel. My child will always tell me, Daddy, I want to go to overseas. Why? He keeps asking me questions like, does NEPA take light overseas?
Mm.
Okay. You know, do we have thieves overseas?
Wow.
No, there are some questions, and I don't know where it's coming from. And after some time, and I will be frank in answering them, but at the end, you know, he feels attracted to go to overseas, where there wouldn't be, you know, power failure,
and then
right?
thieves coming around
You
to
know,
rob.
yeah, all kinds of things. Now, but the truth of the matter is that in every society, in every location, there are also bad sides to it.
That's right.
But, you know, the Western media don't show us that. They always show us the beauty of their country.
Yeah.
But people do not know that there are more gun violence in America than any other part of the world.
That's right.
So why are they not showing us? We just hear some, you know, they just show us just few of them and give us impression that, you know, that place is very, very safe. But the truth is that more people are killed every day over there by, you know, people who have some, to me, I see that people who have some mental issues just take gun and start shooting everyone, you know. But that kind of a thing doesn't happen in this part of the world. We have our own problem.
Yeah.
Okay? So, but those media people over there in the Western world, they know how to sell their country. They know how to sell their, you know, culture and tradition, give you things. And fortunately, or do I say unfortunately, they give an impression of Africa as a continent where people are backward, nothing good comes out of the continent. I have had opportunities of speaking with Americans and some Europeans. To be honest with you, some of them don't know there is a country called Nigeria.
Wow.
And they think, maybe you say you are coming from Africa, they believe that we still live in trees. I'm telling you, in 21st century.
Right
now, yes. They still believe, we think we still live in trees. We don't have good places, you know.
That's so bad.
Yeah. Why? That's the media. That's the job of the media. So our media, why they show, you know, crime and some negative news, they should also project the good things about our culture and environment.
It should be projected more. Good ones should be projected more.
I believe so.
Yes.
It's affecting our psyche, it's affecting our value system. Seriously. Okay? Remember, I was trying to talk about the things that, you know, have led to
or the depreciation. Yes. Who is responsible?
Who is responsible? A lot of people are responsible. Also, let's look at our religious institutions.
Okay.
They're also responsible. I can also hold them responsible for this, because ask yourself, in 12 months, how many of our religious institutions lay emphasis on morals and values? No, we talk more about prosperity.
That's a very big problem for me.
But I've not finished. Let me leave them. Let me go to our politics. Politicians.
Okay.
They also play, in short, to me, in Nigeria, they are playing maybe the number one role in
creating.
I'm telling you, that's my belief. Because using the last elections and previous elections, even my children, even my own children, kids, they are still in primary school and secondary school. The one that shocked me was the one in primary school. Said something, I wouldn't like to say it here.
Yeah.
And I was like, who told this guy? All right, now, if he grows up with that mentality,
that's a very big
very big problem.
Yes.
Okay, so there are a lot of factors responsible for this, not just one. You wouldn't say it's just the family. Okay, religion is playing, religion institutions, media, okay, our politicians, then our educational system. Let me say this, when I was growing up, there is what we call in primary school, even secondary school, I think they call it moral instruction.
Yes.
Every morning.
Is a subject and is a practice every morning.
Every morning, practice every morning. I don't know. I'm not in primary school, I'm not in secondary school, but I don't think it's as serious as it used to be.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. It's called morning devotion in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it was serious.
Very
you
serious.
must attend.
True.
moral instructions. And there used to be a course called moral instructions. All right. But I don't know what happened. I wouldn't say that we don't have those things now, but I
It's
think
still existing, but not as serious as it
the
were.
emphasis
Yes.
then was more than now. So these are factors, because remember, all of us were born empty. Nothing until we started writing in our minds.
Yeah.
And most of them came from school, primary, nursery school, crèche, secondary school. And all kinds of it started being written in our minds, right? Now, when in schools, officially schools encourage malpractices.
Malpractice.
And what are you teaching the children?
And that's a very bad thing. That's
You
a
know.
very bad thing.
So
to
a lot of things are responsible, and I think these are just few of them.
My God, friends, I know you are feeling the same way I'm feeling. It's a very serious matter that we need to look into so that we see how we restore ethics and values in our society. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll continue with the interviews. Stay with us. It's good to know you are there. Thank you very much for staying there with us. I'm still in the studio with a great man, Obidibo Alvarez-Ama, talking about values and ethics. I want to narrow this down to a particular angle, especially because of how important it is. This is Gospel Lounge. Whatever we do here is just to see how we can make sure that the gospel is what it is, and also draw out the good news and let our people know better. Down to our religious circles, I have a problem. A lot of people might not really agree to this, but what are the values that God expects from us? What are these values? Okay, if you, okay, let me just take a verse of the scripture, okay, so that we'll just have a context. Micah chapter 6 verse 8 says something. Let me read it out. He has showed you, O man, what is good. All right? And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly, and to love kindness and mercy, and to humble yourself and walk humbly with your God. This is so deep. If this is what God is demanding from us, are we really giving God or responding to God according to what He wants us? What is this thing God is expecting from us in the religious sector?
All right. Now, we know that Christian values are principles and belief that are based on the teachings of Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. That's where we Christians derive our values, the
Okay.
teachings of Christ. Okay? And that's what makes us Christians.
Okay.
And, you know, Christ was very explicit on these things. And I categorize them in two ways.
Okay, two.
Yeah. One, God or Christ himself, a total commitment, devotion to Christ, then a total love for man.
total commitment to God
Christ.
Himself,
Christ.
and then total love
For man.
For man.
Yeah. You know, Christ himself, he said something. He said, love one another as I have loved you. You know, what we call the golden rule. Do to others what you want
Yes, them to
them
do
to
to
do to you. That,
yes.
It was the words of Christ in plain language, right? He treated his disciples in the best way any man would. And he wanted his disciples to do the same thing to one another, to man.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So, God expects me to love him.
Okay.
Christ expects me to love him,
Yeah.
to be devoted to him, to know him more.
Yeah.
All right? Then after that, he wants me to treat my fellow man
The same way.
the same way, with love, justice, mercy, kindness. All right? Mention them. That's what God expects from me. And these are the things we call Christian values.
Yeah.
I should love my fellow human being. I should respect my fellow human beings. I should honor people. I should be responsible. I should be humble. I should be kind. I should not have jealousy. So, if you love God, or you claim to love God, love Christ, but you are not treating your fellow human being properly, with justice and equity, mercy, kindness, then one would say, according to John the Apostle, you don't really love God.
True.
The only evidence that we see and we know that you love God is where you treat your neighbor.
That's right.
So if you treat your neighbor badly, trust me, forget about any other religious activity you do. You don't love God.
Wow. Wow.
You know, that is what I think. And that's what the scripture teaches. You see, I will digress a little bit, but it's still on the issue of value,
Yeah.
Christian values.
Okay.
There is something that Christ himself said concerning a human being that you assume is your enemy. How do you treat him? Because when we are talking about human beings, we are not just talking about those that are your friends.
No.
We're talking about everyone.
Everyone.
Okay? There is a prescribed way Christ said you should treat a human being.
True.
Especially your enemy. So you should love your enemy.
But that's a very hard nut there.
Unfortunately, that's what makes you a Christian. If you don't like it, then forget about Christianity. Go the other way. Let's know that you are not a Christian. Love your enemy. That is what Christ said. And you know why I'm laying emphasis on it? It is easy to love your friend.
Very easy.
Very easy to love your friend. Now, it is difficult to love your enemy. So if you say you love God, then you have to love your enemy, because that's the only proof that differentiates you from the other person who wants his enemy dead, but you don't want your enemy dead because you're a Christian.
Are you hearing that? My God, you pray for your enemy and you love your enemies. But I said that's a very hard nut to crack. I am finding it difficult. You know why this thing is a very serious problem for me. In so many places where Christians gather now, once you call for prayers, there is this die by fire that's the only prayer we pray now. So do we really still have Christians around us here?
Yes, we do. We do. And I do not want us to digress. This is a topic that could take our time and,
Of course. Of course.
So I would like to just summarize on this issue of loving your enemy, because love is a virtue and also is a value. All right? And if you remove love from Christianity, there is no Christianity.
That's true.
Okay? So everything that God expects you to do has to be done in love. Now, you see, when Paul was talking about love in Corinthians, he said something. Love is kind. Love is patient. When love waits, we call it patience. When love treats people in a very good way, you call it kindness. So, for us to prove that we are Christians, everything we do must be propelled by love.
Wow.
If you pray that your enemy dies, that's hatred, it's not love. Unfortunately, I'm not saying this. I'm just reminding us of what the scriptures have said.
Yes.
Some people argue, if you don't do that, your enemy will kill you. That's not true. I'm still alive. I've never prayed for my enemy to die. I've never done that till date. And I won't even do that.
Wow.
And they don't have the capacity to kill me. I'm being honest with you. They don't have the capacity to kill me.
That's right.
Jesus says something. Don't fear anyone.
Don't
If there
fear
is
anyone.
anybody to fear, fear the person who is able to kill both the spirit and the soul and send you to hell.
Friends, I'm still going to have Mr. Obidigbo back in the studio some other time. But listen, life as designed by God is meant to be lived by principles and values. There are sets of values laid down both in the Bible, God's word, and other walks of lives, whether you are in the office, in the market, and all that. Follow them. Those rules are the rules of life. The absence or negligence of these values has a negative effect on our society. Therefore, don't remove the ancient landmarks, because it is when the hedge is broken that the serpent will gain access to bite. I must thank you very much for being with us today on Gospel Lounge, and we look forward to seeing you again, because this conversation is not going to end here. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
For coming to the show.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
And it's been an amazing time with you, my great audience. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll do this again in our next episode of Gospel Lounge. My name is Victor Chief Judge. Bye-bye.